Russian spies are blackmailing Ukrainian civilians into carrying out vile attacks for Vladimir Putin, intelligence sources have claimed. Vlad's agents are manipulating vulnerable civilians into planting bombs with a cocktail of threats and bribery, and using online forums and datasets to find them. A string of sabotage attacks across Europe have been attributed to Russian puppet masters. And at the start of this year, military sites inside Ukraine were hit by a spate of bombings, with officials publicly blaming Russia. Yuri Gaidai, a senior economist at the Kyiv think tank Center for Economic Strategy, said it was very likely that Russia paid online gambling sites in Ukraine for their data to identify weak spots, meaning desperate people. The dark arts strategy emerged after top figures from Ukraine's gambling industry were arrested over links with Russia. After selecting targets inside Ukraine, Russian agents make contact and wave the promise of cash to convince addicts to do their bidding. Sources said. Ukrainian investigators have arrested owners of online casinos on suspicion of colluding with Russia after have uncovered evidence of data being collected and shared. Gaidai linked the SIX strategy with bombings of recruitment centers at the beginning of the year. The attackers were not people who ideologically support Russia, Gaidai said, suggesting they had been coerced into the plots. He told The Sun, "These are just people who are very much in need of money, so they can be leveraged. If you have the data of people you can contact and offer them money, and they are more likely to accept it than turn you to Ukrainian intelligence services, this is a very valuable set of information." The bombings generally involved somebody picking up an explosive device from a hidden location and transporting it to the target site. Gaidai said commands definitely come from those who are working in Russian intelligence services. A spokesperson for Security Service of Ukraine, Artem Dektyurenko, confirmed Russian spies exploit people with gambling addictions. He said, "Russians recruit for their tasks mainly minors, the unemployed, and people with various types of addictions. For example, drug, alcohol, or gambling addictions." A source close to the Ukrainian Secret Service revealed that Russians are trying to groom anyone they can, particularly addicts, gamblers, and teenagers. They told The Sun, "There are different tactics the Russians use, but two are the most popular. In the first, they offer work as an odd courier job and afterwards blackmail the targets into collaborating with sheer terrorism. In the second approach, Russians browse through internet communities and channels dedicated to pro-Russian support. Russians are the enemy. They are not friends to anyone. When it comes to blackmail, the Russians' weapon of choice can be death threats, fake nude pictures, and all the shades of fear," the source said. Another source, involved with Ukrainian cybersecurity, explained that, initially, the recruits might not realize what they are doing. They told The Sun, "After handing out a few errands, the Russian operatives can reveal themselves and resort to blackmailing. They threaten to send all the information they have to the Ukrainian police or security services if they are not caught or blown up first." Terror attacks on military targets. After a bomb attack on a draft office in February, Ukraine's National Police Chief Ivan Vyhivsky said, "We understand this is a deliberate attack by Russian special services that aims to create a false opinion in society." He added they aim to destabilize the situation and create a negative attitude towards the security and defense forces. In that incident, on February 5th, a man approached a checkpoint at a recruitment office clutching a bag and asked to hand over a package. An explosion followed, killing the bag bearer and wounding 4. Following the attack, Vyhivsky said there had already been 9 such plots carried out this year. In a similar case, a young man was blown up by an explosive device he carried into a draft office in the northwestern city of Rivne on February 1st. The bomber was killed and 8 service members wounded. Ukraine's SBU domestic security agency took the rare step of saying he had been recruited by the Russians, who remotely detonated the device, removing him as an unnecessary witness. According to the investigation, the bomb carrier was a 21-year-old unemployed man from the Zhytomyr region looking for quick money. Ukrainian Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko said, the explosions inside and near the premises of the Ukrainian army recruitment centers and police departments, and the arson of military vehicles are a targeted campaign by the Russian special services against Ukraine. Unfortunately, some of our citizens are becoming an instrument of the enemy in search of quick money. The main thing is age. As a rule, these are young people, teenagers and very young people under the age of 22 to 23. Russian special services attract them with ads for easy part-time work. Unstable industry. Various figures within Ukraine's gambling industry, only legalized in 2020, have been arrested and face investigations over links with Russia. That includes the head of the industry's regulator as well as the director of one of the largest online casinos. Ivan Rudiy was the head of Keir, Ukraine's gambling regulator, until his arrest in December, and his detention has been extended until May 26. The official is accused of willfully allowing Russian gambling sites to operate in Ukraine, including one of the largest, Pinup. Rudiy is a celebrated military figure in Ukraine and even served as his country's team captain in the 2023 Invictus Games. Igor Szijjarto, the director of Pinup, one of the most popular casino sites in Ukraine, was arrested in January on suspicion of laundering Russian money. An ongoing investigation has found that the true owners were Russian citizens. They allegedly collected personal data and information about the locations of users, including Ukrainian military personnel. Gambling in Ukraine was only legalized in 2020 after 11 years of prohibition. As of 2024, around 8,000 people had referred themselves to a list for addicts, so their ability to gamble would be limited. But that number is nowhere near the true figure. A Ukrainian cyber police source told The Sun, in reality, hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians in one way or another have a gambling addiction. That makes them a possible target for Russian special services. Some of these people lost tons of money to the online and offline casinos and would look for any possibility to lay their hands on any amount of money. Russians do not have to do anything special to find them. They monitor the internet, various Telegram channels, forums, and Discord channels dedicated to the casinos and online betting to find people who seem desperate. They contact them under the disguise of help bots or just random people who offer to do small tasks. Patterns of sabotage. But the source in Ukraine's security service warned that Russia's reach is not limited to Ukraine. They said, Europe and the UK should be wary as well.